Well, like I said, he was a nice guy. I took the power lines down one time, so when you go between the buildings, you have to take them down.
Yeah.
No, mine was right through.
No way.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was the best job I ever had. You know, lay off and I'm like, there's no money. The only people that make money is the owners, you know.
This is mine.
Hell, I just said,
Nice.
come back, you know, we'll work at 7. I get done whatever time I get done.
I was just talking about it.
If I want to go forward,
Oh, so I decided to. I was just like, I gotta piece up this big up.
That's it.
Oh, no.
I thought I wasn't gonna make it. When the hormones are blasted away, I don't want to get too shiny.
You're full of shadows.
Yeah.
I think I do too many plastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, when it was a piece, it was twice as heavy as that.
Get my paper?
So you just feel the bone from Hawaii. Yeah. What was
Do me a favor,
I got another piece about this big.
do me a favor, give it back, because I'm going to.
Absolutely.
Write notes on it. Okay, it's all you.
Let's start mine. Okay. Evening, everyone. We have just one new person. Introduce yourself. 2, sorry. I missed you. 3, wow, we're doing good.
Whoa.
Wow.
If you new guys could just jot your name down, when we take a break, jot your name down, so when I do the newsletter, I add that in there, and that way I don't forget.
My name is Jim Selensky, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
How long have you been turning?
Sorry,
How long have you been turning? Or have you been turning?
maybe 9-10 months.
10 months?
Yeah, so.
And I'm trying to convince him to go see Glenn Lucas.
Oh, there you go.
Because he has a house in Ireland.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time in Ireland.
He's a real nice guy.
Is he? It's
Yes, he's quite a nice
worth
guy.
taking. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're having fun.
It's expensive, but it was a nice trip. Got away from the family. Next. Flip the coin.
I'm Nate.
Newbie.
Agree. Yeah.
That's okay. We all start that way.
It's not the way I started.
Yes, you do.
Upstate New York.
Now you live here.
Yeah, my wife. I just moved down.
And
My name's John Jen, I live in Gloucester, as in like Gloucester.
close to me.
Yeah.
Close to
And I haven't been, I haven't turned in 50 years. I'm dying to get back to.
People still remember. Oh, cool. All right, treasury reports next. We got $1,681.93 in it in the, what's it called?
Savings
The CD.
account,
The
yeah.
CD, it's got $5,278.27. And we have 27 paid members.
Aha. There you go.
Paid.
Perfect.
He's up. Lathe for sale?
So in the newsletter, I had, there was a little clip, I don't know if everybody reads the newsletter, but one of the gentlemen from the Woodworkers Club is closing his shop. He's got a fairly unused jet, I think, no, it's not a jet, it's a Raycon 12 by 20 on the stand, just like the green one that's out in the hallway. Lathe, grinder, tools, $550. That's somewhat negotiable. if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I can kind of put you in contact. But if you did get the newsletter, a picture of the lathe is in the newsletter and his contact is in the newsletter. But I also have it.
Is that 500?
550, something.
500, 5,000?
No, 500
No, that's not bad.
ish, but it's a complete package. It's the lathe on the stand, tools, and the grinder. And it's fairly new. I mean, it's not new, but it's unused. He did it some spindle work, that's it. But see me at the break if you're interested. And if you want a free lathe, I have that link too, but it's like a 1950 Pole Craftsman. The oldie but goodie.
Oh, for God's sakes, if anybody wants a free lathe, then they've got a washing machine motor. I have this home craft.
That's almost like the one I gave Peter.
Yeah.
But it was a
Yeah, the
Delta,
old pole, yeah,
long one.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
All right, and new business?
the only thing I'll mention is I did talk to the girl, we were talking about doing the shows. The one that comes up in the fall, I think it's like September, October at the Crown Plaza. It's well attended. They bring in the witches, they do the dances, like well attended. We can bring the lathe and the generator. We can also sell. So I don't know if anybody wants to get the group, we sell some stuff. Maybe we donate some money. We don't have to. I don't know, charity.
We missed out on the Cranston one, but they
We-
wanted 200
yeah.
bucks.
Yeah, no, this is like $75.
I know, I'm just saying, the
And what
Cranston
show
was,
is this?
It's at the Crown Plaza. It's, I think if they call it like the fall out of summer, I think, something like that.
Right.
But it's,
they had.
she
it the
brings in
field
3,000,
and the
4,000
parking lot.
people. It's outdoors. And it's local. I mean, Crown Plaza is centrally located in Rhode Island, so.
It's right off the highway.
But I have spoken with her and she said, absolutely, bring your lathe and your generator and stuff.
But the Cranston one was this past
That was
weekend.
last weekend, yeah. I don't know.
And
who
my
ran
daughter
that.
went to it. She has a food truck. They wanted $200.
Well, that's because she has a food truck.
No, everybody had to pay 200 bucks.
Oh, yeah, it's not worth it.
No, it was not worth it. She said it wasn't worth it.
No, that's a lot.
And it was at Mulligan's.
Mulligan's, yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
old business as far as cameras, what did we decide
So-
on that?
I moved the camera from here to there. And after watching Roland's demonstration, I don't know if anybody went back and watched it, putting the camera on this side with this angle, I thought made a big difference. And putting one up on top and trying to switch it and all that, I don't know. I'm going to do it again today. The camera's now on this side. And we'll see how these work. I don't know if it's necessary at this stage of the game. Because we still don't have anybody that knows how to hook it up and use it. So I did look at it though. It's only about $300, camera and to move it and switch it. But there's some technical data that needs to be learned. So if everybody just has a comment tonight, how these two TVs work, if you think an extra camera would have helped or not, just let us know. It's not a dead issue. I just don't want to pull the trigger on the wrong item. That's all. So,
All right, so we're just about done. We're gonna do show and tell. So you wanna
absolutely.
start that and
Absolutely. Just remember when you do the show and tell, if you could come up towards me a little bit, because this camera, it can't hear you talk over there either. So if you grab your piece and kind of come this way, it would help.
you're gonna put an X.
No, we don't need an X on it.
I tried. Oh, it's here.
Look at this. Here's a guy who knows all about that 1950 Craftsman lathe.
She calls me up and asks if, hey, I've got a lathe here, I've got some wood. I'm like, all right, I'll come by. And the wood is not as big as I had hoped, and had to walk through all the woods to get out. She had about 4 or 5 probably sheds. And we get to the one, and there's this antique tractor. I mean, it's in rough shape, but it would be nice restored. And she goes, follow my steps. Okay. So I follow my steps going, okay, yep. Then get into the back part, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I could tell in the pictures.
Yeah,
But
it was.
good. All right, I'll do this since nobody got up. So we didn't have a demo planned for today, so today's demo, we're doing some off-center turning. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but it's an interesting technique. It's, so the video I watched, did anybody watch the German video? No? So I don't know why I'm putting these videos. I put a nice video of another one where the bull sits like laying, there's like two bulls. One's laying in, one in a bull, but one's laying out, but it's in German, so I want to see how many people watched it. I watched it. Yeah, this is what we'll be doing tonight. This is a Danish oil finish, and I don't seem to be getting the finish out of it that I see everybody else's pieces. Just doesn't have that pop to it. There's about 4 or 5 coats on it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I laid it on, and then I laid it on so thick it actually gummed up. I was like, I'll put the whole can on. But if anybody has a clue to what I'm doing wrong with this Danish oil, because it should pop a little bit, yes? I'm looking at you because you know everything. All right.
What's with the bottom?
You gotta wait for the demonstration. Same thing, try number 2. That's the bottom. You gotta wait for the demo for that. So yeah, this is only my first 2 tries, so we'll see what happens. Tell us about the spoons.
We'll start with this one.
I got it. That's
Good
good.
enough?
I got it.
Yeah, so we'll start with
You
this
can
one.
face that way. I got it.
And that's, it's a coffee scoop, which means it's 1.5 tablespoons. Exactly. So that's 1.5. My bag that I have coffee in is deep. So I have a long handle one to reach into the bottom. And then I did this, and this is oblong, so it's longer this way. And it's still 1.5 tablespoons. It's exactly the same amount as that, believe it or not. But this was something I was trying, and this guy wants me to make one 5 inches in size. And once you start moving this around, these are easy. This one's a little more troublesome because you're moving it, and as soon as you move it, things change. So because I did enough of these, my eye was adapted enough. And then I just wanted to do one like this. And then this one here is same thing, 1.5, and this is a 1/4 cup, is what that is. Exactly 1/4 cup and exactly 1.5. I just thought that looked pretty cool. I just wanted to see if I could do that.
How do you know they're exact?
I measure.
But how do you, all right, that wasn't my question. My question is how do you get to exact?
How do I what?
Get to exact. You're turning, you're looking at this.
I am going to do a demo next month. So if you come back next month, I will show you how it's done. But you have to come back next month. Otherwise, it's hard for me to explain because I don't have all the little jigs that I use. But now, I used to do it on and glue it and then move it around and shit. Now, this is all done in the chuck. And that's all. Chuck for the 2 bowls. And then I put it between centers and I turn the rest of it. But I've got this little half circle that I know once it fits in here, I know that's the size that I want. And then this one here was the same thing. So the first thing I did was I made that first, and then I moved it, and then I was able to use that same card to make sure that this was, and then you touch it and feel it and make sure it all worked out pretty good. But I like that one too. And then this one is the first thing I made. So this is nowhere near what I want. But as soon as I figure out how to make these, I'll show you guys. But it's still, this is different because this is all done on a lathe too. But it's a little more work than these. These are simple. This one here, I'm pretty lost. But, and that's that.
You got it.
Yeah, I still have it and it'll still work. Yeah, it's made to stir soup and pasta sauce and stuff like that, I guess. Any kind of thing you want to move around. And then if I want, I can cut it here and then you can use it to flip flapjacks, I guess. Stuff like that.
Very nice.
This is just simple bread wings made out of leopard wood.
Oh. Yeah,
That good?
well, no, I was thinking it was leopard wood, but I've never seen anybody bring in something with leopard wood
There
here.
you go. Now you have. This is my first hollowing attempt. It went pretty good, but I cheated. I hollowed from the bottom. And then I plugged it because there was no way I was gonna get through this hole and try to get all that stuff hollowed out. So if you look really close, you can see a little seam there, but it's on the bottom. It's got a couple of coats of tried and true original finish with a coat of beeswax.
I am curious, when you're hollowing, how smooth do you get the inside?
Smooth, pretty smooth, yeah. I had the 3/4-inch bar with the carbide tip on it, so it works good.
This is just a regular bowl, nothing special, but I wanted to bring it in because it's from Hawaii. It's called Milo. And I just have 3 coats of shellac on this. And I got a piece. Yeah, I think it came out a little bit. I didn't want to get more shinier than that. That's
Did you use the can of shellac or did you make the shellac?
the quart size. I actually use a
Zinger's store bought.
Yeah, I put it on one of those little black foam brushes. I saturate it, and it gives a nice smooth coat to it. Yeah, you just have to throw it out because it gets hard. I got to use 3 brushes. Unless I can. I sometimes I can do 2 coats in a night, but yeah, I thought it came out pretty good.
Yeah, that came out very, I'm surprised that's the store bought Zinger. That looks, caught my eye as soon as I saw it. I was like, ooh.
And it costs $82 to get the coat from Hawaii.
The blank didn't, right? The shipping.
The shipping, yeah. Get the wood for free.
Very hard.
Shellac, don't you make that?
I had no idea.
How the hell do you make your own shellac? Oh, plate.
Okay, this is spalted hickory, which came off the back of my property. And it was a little punky, so I had to add some wood hardener on it. That's why I have a little problem with the end grain. And I put, my daughter's new boyfriend makes wax, all natural stuff. So he gave me this for free and I tried it on this. It doesn't,
Did he
Came
tell
out
you
pretty
did he tell you all the ingredients or no?
no, he just says organic.
Sure.
And I'm trying to get him in to come in turn, do a demonstration on an end grain bowl, an end grain cellar.
Yeah.
Salt cellar.
Oh,
But I really like this. It was really cool.
What do you mean when you say punky? It was punky. What is that?
You can get a pencil and
Soft.
soft.
It was still rotted a little bit too much.
Hmm?
Rotted a little bit too much. Very funky.
Well, I waited too long.
It's like the Maginot line.
But it
But
came out very
it's
nice.
pretty solid now.
What did you use to harden it?
Oh, it's a wood hardener by Minwax. Comes in a container about this big. I mean, there's different things you can use for that,
Yeah,
right?
I've used that before.
What's the other things you use other than resin?
We go,
CA glue,
yeah, or epoxy.
cactus juice?
But it's gonna be put in a pressure pot, and that it impregnates the wood and it really hardens it.
And
You always try
epoxy.
that, I got that.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
You got some you wanna grow?
I don't have any.
You don't have it, because you can't afford it. There you go. You just have to see. All right, we're all done. We could take a break, or you wanna go right
No,
to
take
demonstration?
a little break. I gotta find my other truck. I thought I had it. I know it's here. I'm just gonna go.
I got a brochure or something, and I just. I did it a couple of times. This actually came off the tree in the backyard. All of a sudden, we're looking out, this top of the tree just goes.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting in the back of my yard.
The tree just fell last year.
No,
This was still kind of wet.
yeah.
That's why we say we went ahead and part time with the,
It's a chip sort of round garden with good cover.
No, it absorbs.
Yeah. And then one.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, this is sort of-
And it's cut a piece and I give it to my daughter.
I think doing the scoops will be better than.
In exchange. Now he wants to bring a song over to my property. He wants to go speak to my.
That's right.
Walls just to look at.
Yeah, so, I mean, Alan was the last boyfriend of mine house. He's been there for 8 years.
And I was supposed to do a thin wall next month
Another one.
in,
As soon as that happens, I told her.
but somebody posted on that site a scoop they made, which is horrible. And they didn't mention that, you know, they were following me.
I'll put those three guys, just write their name first.
And then
Oh,
I see exactly. And I really like just using just chunk versus, you know, before I was using glue on the base plate. That's nice. Because, that might be nice to do your nose work, not well, not well.
So on the bark, orange, very, very thick bark.
Is that sassafras?
Sassafras. It's just something in the middle of sassafras.
Yeah. It didn't like smell like sassafras.
Well, sassafras usually is root beer.
Yeah, I know.
This has got a odd smelling.
Yep.
It smells nice, but it's odd. I don't think it's sassafras, but I looked at the bark. Bark looks like sassafras.
Okay.
I tried a lot of it and honestly, I don't
Oh,
like it.
okay.
But,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out, I still can't figure out. But I didn't. A while ago, I got some sassafras from the guy who moved out of a mill down in Exeter, and it was sassafras. And it smelled like when you tried it, it was definitely root, no question about it. When they started turning this, I was like, maybe, if anybody recognizes the odor in this, you'll know when it's not turning. It's, I almost think it's like peppery almost, but I'm not sure. Anybody picks up on it, let me know.
You don't want to drink?
How are you?
I wanted a cheat sheet. That's all I'm in the basement. It's like, it's really.
Yeah.
Still a little, yeah, that's what I said.
I really enjoy.
Ready, boss? Everybody done with their break? Whatever. So once again, nobody volunteered to do the demo, so you stuck with me again. And there's one way to not get that problem next month. Well, you don't have to worry about it next month because we got rolling. The month after that, the month after that. The best way to avoid that, come do a demo. You don't have to watch me.
But we love you, Rick.
Stop already.
Rick.
So off-center turning, I saw this video and I had it in the back of my mind to try a piece, and again, it's somewhat functional, but it's pretty stupid looking. But it's art, I guess, right? But you could actually, would make a fruit bowl or something decorative. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off using the worm screw, and the piece is centered. I've already drilled my hole directly in the center. I'm gonna mount it on a lathe, just basically turn a bowl real fast. And I'm gonna put a mortise, not a tenon, which would be this. And it's not gonna be a complete mortise, because later I'm gonna also put a tenon. Is this the way you do yours, or is there a different way? I know there's another way to do this, but I didn't want to take the extra step. So with this technique, using this mortise and then this tenon, I won't have to remount the bolt to get the bottom off. So that's why this decoration is there. It's because of the outside ring is going to be the mortise I'm going to start with, and the inside ring is going to be a tenon. And I'll explain that as I go. So for this operation, it's best to have two chucks, or be prepared to take your jaws on, take your jaws off, because there's two separate sizes. So for right now, I'm just gonna mount this with the worm screw, and I'll tell you why as I go. I can make the lathe work. I'll try this trick at home. So, put the light shot around just because some of these guys are older. They're not interested in catching this piece.
Get quick reflexes, don't worry.
I'm sure you guys can catch this. I'm sure.
You don't want to see that anyway.
No.
Not a pretty sight.
Is anybody here besides Roland Paul when I did the bird's mouth and that ball flew off about 3 times that meeting? So that's why I use the lead. That's why you use it, for that very reason. So I'm going to start off just clean the bottom and shape the outside of the bowl. I hope. Yeah, that's just the way it gives me. About 875 RPMs for now. Gonna put my jacket on. And I didn't. Yeah, and this step just simply make the bowl the outside shape. I always find, and I don't know if it's me, but whenever I turn this way, I'm obviously not doing it right, but I always get a straight-sided ball. So I think it's my eyesight or my imagination. So what I usually do, and I'm going to do it now, is I reverse this and use a pull cut, because when I'm doing the pull cut, I can watch up here and actually see the shape of the bowl. Maybe just me, But whenever I go, this, you can see, this is like perfectly straight. I don't know why that, it always happens. When I go this way, I'm gonna see what I'm doing. Here, straight. Just for the one more flat spot. About 1,300 RPM. Sometimes when I'm turning, I'll make something like that, and I'll see a different shape. But boy, I like that. I like that shape. And I do like that shape. That's what I meant. When you're looking at it this way, it's just, I don't know, for some reason, you can find, I know a lot of people that will, they know their shape before they start. I never do. The guys I go, like, oh, wait a minute, that looks pretty good. Do that again. Most of this is gonna get turned off anyway, because this is kind of too much for what I'm gonna do. Too thick. Leave that on there for some character. So what I'm gonna do is put a large foot, you know, this piece, a large foot, and then the mortise. Just trying to clean that up as much as I can. Probably gotta straighten this. I've got a little bit of a lip that I don't like that there, and do that one more time. I should have looked, I can actually see it. Anybody smell that wood?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Smell that?
That's good.
Anybody identify it? No. All right, well. Whenever I turn a piece of box elder in my basement, it smells the whole house up, then I try to turn a piece of this. Like a little bit of an air freshener.
It almost smells like pine.
Yeah, but it's not, definitely not pine. It could be. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So I've already set these to the diameter of the black, of this chuck. So. If anybody has never used these, obviously you only touch the left half, you don't touch the right half. This is just so you can have a measurement that you'll know what you need.
I should bring that other thing that I bought. That goes on the tailstock. And you measure out and it's always perfect. Has a point to it.
I'm not sure.
I'll bring it up.
Okay. So I didn't clean this up at all because the tailstock was there. So I just go in there with my spindle gouge and just make that basically flat. I'm just gonna mark my line so I know don't go past that. So I'm gonna make not a complete mortise, I only need the groove to basically be the thickness of the jaws, a little bit more, so I can get the jaws in, because I'm gonna open them up. So I'm not gonna make this whole thing a mortise, just a track to get these jaws in there. Hopefully I get it in the first try. I never do, but we'll try. So I'm just gonna use my parting tool. Before I flip it around, I'll make sure I can actually get it in there. Move it.
pressing in when you go pressing out?
I'm going to open. At least I'm gonna try to. So what I just made an opening for just the jaws to go in. And I'm gonna expand those.
You could go the other way.
Yes,
You made it more sense.
yeah, it's fixable. I'm going by the video that the guy did. Yes, I need to hold it in reverse. So yes, you could, either or, I guess, it doesn't matter. Now that you said that, maybe I will go the other way, because I'd much rather have a tenon than a. But with these jaws, these are not dovetail jaws.
Oh,
They have this nice little lip on there, which works really well for what I'm about to do. I will open them only because that's what I said I was gonna do. I'm sticking to it. So now I just need to clean this face up and go from there. That should work quite well. So at this point, um, if you're gonna change the shape or do anything with the bowl, you need to do it now, because the next step is off center. So once I flip this over again, I won't be back to this round again. So I got a little spot there I'm just gonna clean up. I would normally really go to town and sand this all up, this surface. This is in material because this is gonna be hollowed out. Not yet, but it will be. So let me just clean this up a little bit. it's definitely a bowl. So we'll live with it. We'll live with it. I'm gonna just hit it real quick with the, just clean it up just a little bit, just so I can say it did. This is just 180. And I'm not exactly true. You can see when I'm standing and I'm getting line. That's all right. We'll fix it. There is a way to fix it. They say you can't, but I already know how to fix it. So we get it. We get it so it looks like a finished product. Not too shabby for that's 180 and 220. Not too shabby. I'll live with it. Might have to re-drill that a little bit, but I'm not sure. No, I will not.
So Rick, the camera works out well that way?
Okay, so you could see the
See
direction.
everything.
Well, I think what was happening when I noticed, not the last one, the one before that, with it over here, you were seeing the shoulder all the time, or the back. So, you know, see how it should work just fine. So I'm gonna go back to the worm screw.
I haven't tried turning it yet, I just picked it up. But maybe now the ground is stable, cut from a branch from.
Hardwood, Rick, or
It's hardwood, yeah. Well, it's not that hard, but it's hard, yeah, it is hard. Did not do that right. Why didn't you tell me I was about to do that wrong?
Just trying to figure out what you were doing.
Okay.
I was actually gonna ask you.
You should have asked.
Drill another hole.
You should have asked. Because when I was at home, I forgot to do the step I just did. And, yeah. Exactly. Wake up, smell the wood. Skip the most important part.
What, the other hole?
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. So the bowl's done. We don't need this hole anymore. Now we need an off-center hole. And there's no specific measurement that I could find. You want to get away enough that you can drill without ruining this hole and having them both turn into one hole. So it's simply just move over a little bit.
Well, the more you go over, the thinner the wall becomes.
How far over approximately and how deep?
So the depth is only to match the wood screw.
Okay.
How far did I go over? That far. Not very much, just enough that I didn't split.
So
I didn't want to split the wood,
3/4 of an inch maximum, something like that.
maybe that far,
Okay, thank you.
or less. Probably like 3/8 of an inch from if you did outside to outside.
Okay.
could you just drill them both before you started?
You could have, yeah, but I wanted to make it, I wanted to show you that I know how to use the drill. Not just the lathe. So now you put this in that hole. And now
The fun begins.
it is off center. Now I have my calipers set to this chuck when it's fully closed, so I'm gonna make a tenon on there. And probably with a pencil, it'll be easier. Especially since I know where it is. Same pencil over there? So obviously now as I turn this, the mortise that I made is off center, so this is going to bring it to the smallest part, which is right there. And then it's going to be my set show up. Yeah, maybe a little darker. So the tenon is obviously off center. Now you can see the tenon there.
And if you do the same on the face of the bowl, you'll make sure that you didn't make it so thin that you lose the outside of the bowl.
Probably, and I hope not to do that. We'll see how that goes. So here's my spindle gouge, and now where this diagram comes from here, this half moon, if you will. So as I make a tenon, I'm going to lose this area here. That's this half moon. Okay. And doing it this way, A, I don't have to clean the foot up when I'm done. And B, it kind of looks cool. It's very difficult to engrave if you don't know how to use the engraver, which I do not. So it's very difficult for that. If Chris Rowe was here, he'd show us how to get that just right. So I just use my spindle gouge, make a tenon. Now, if your lathe is smaller, like this one, you're not going to get a lot of speed. So this is 575. That's about all she wrote. You're not going to get much speed. I'm trying to get to 500. $500, $480. Clean this up with my parting tool. Potter and Sons parting tool. These are the catch me out. If you don't have one of these, you want one. You may well look for it.
All the time.
makes the Cardenas some better than that one? I see a different shape at the tip.
The shape and the tip. The steel, the shape, the tip, everything about it. It's actually, and when you sharpen, like this one is, I'm sharpening both edges, whether you're supposed to or not, I don't know. This one, you only need to sharpen this edge, correct? That's what I did. So to sharpen is very, very easy, and it is sharp. And it's super thin. So this one's maybe an eighth, and this one's a 16th. But they come a 16th, an eighth, and maybe a little thicker. There's 2 or 3. That's the thin one. I'm just trying to, because it's so off center, it doesn't give you a very nice cut. Well, it doesn't give me a very nice cut. Let me rephrase that. But this can easily be hand sanded.
Is some of that because it wobbles even though it's like locked into a chuck? So what, does it wobble off of what the,
It's wobbling because it's off center.
yes, but I mean, the thing is, the chuck is turning in a basic circle, but the question is,
The
does
piece
that,
isn't,
what?
but the piece isn't.
Right,
I'm not sure I understood the question.
well, in a perfect world.
Perfect, well, I wouldn't be doing the demo.
Right.
So with any bit of luck, this should fit. There. So now I am squeezing it because now I'm on the tenon. That smaller tenon. And it's still gonna be off center. So you're still only gonna be able to generate 400 or 500 RPM. Well, the bigger you lay, once you get some meat out of it, maybe you can turn it up a little bit. But for the most part, this part's fairly slow turning, just because the lathe won't stay put, especially this one.
Look out up front.
Yeah. Jane's doing the next 2 demos.
Gotta find me first.
Pretty sure I found that right, but let's double check that.
Catch it.
See how good the reflexes are.
I know. Neat.
Cross it. If you bang your elbow into that pointy tail, stock hurts like hell. Just FYI. So about same thing, about 500. That's about it. Once I get a little bit of weight off of this, I'll be able to turn it up a little bit, but still it's going to be. trying to get a little more speed out of it. Like we told Jane, you gotta put extra sandbags if you're gonna do that.
I tried that on mine.
How the hell?
It's still rocking.
Really? So we want to get this, your wall thickness will be on the thinnest, obviously, piece of the bowl, and then that stays extra large. You also want to remember, if you're using this technique and not tenons, that I've got probably a 1/4 inch gap where the tenon sits, so you don't want to go too thin on this. Keep in mind that there's a mortise, not a tenon. I always make my bolts thick, and then you don't have to worry about that problem. Stop it already. I had my first lathe. I trained myself to keep my foot on the back to keep it where so I could do it with this lathe, keep it where I want it with my foot. The lathe is trying to move, but I'm holding it.
Doesn't like it when you go to the center.
No. So I'm still pretty thick. I'm gonna get this as thin as I can, if you will, without I'm gonna split the difference. Have a little bit of a might have made a boo-boo there. Almost jumped off, but I caught myself just in time.
Make it a shallower bowl.
Well, what I did was I'm almost at the rim, and I didn't leave myself enough room to set my gouge, but we can make that work. That's why they invented sandpaper. I'm really careful. I think I kept the inside. I'm really gonna need sandpaper. I got way too close to the edge, and when I skated back, now I ruined that edge. We'll see if I can't fix it, but worst case scenario, I just sand that into a hollow.
Yeah, you're just showing you're human today.
Yeah. I'm trying to do this and hold the weight down.
Isn't that why the phrase "I meant to do that" was invented?
Yeah, that's yes, character. That's, added character, they call that. A little bit extra speed would help, but I'm not gonna get it. have a small lathe this size, you just can't get the speed. It's not that, it's not the lathe, it's because it's so much off center, you just can't. Even on my Powermatic, I think I can get up to maybe 700. Not bad, just 1 minute. Not that bad. If I can try to squeak this out, I should be okay. Design change, they call that. Did that on purpose. Get that bottom just a little thinner. I'll fix that. Somebody wants to tell them what I'm doing. Got a really good gouge when I skated off the edge. It wasn't awful. And it kind of looks like I did it on purpose, because I probably did.
Like they say in software, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah, but putting this little edge in there, that kind of, can't really tell if I did it on purpose or not. I will sand the crap out of this when I get it home and polish sand it. But I did realize, when they said, so in this orientation, you can't sand this. But you could put this in the cold jaws, if you have cold jaws, and sand on this round. So there is a way to do it. I don't think you could actually remount this with a jam chuck, because it will still be off center, so, but I do,
You can just move it back to the other expansion joint, so it goes
yeah,
right.
you could, just see on this, yes, you could go back to that if you needed to, but the trick of this is to, when you, on that first step, finish the bowl first. Like, I didn't spend any time, but if you know that's what you're gonna do, finish the bowl first on the outside before you get to this. And this, you can see, I still got a bunch of tool marks in there that I'll power sand those out. But that's the way I saw it on the Facebook, or on the YouTube, I should say.
If you've got a cold jaw or locker, you can put it in that.
You can do it with a, right, and I
And
do,
also finish the bottom that way too.
right, you could re-sand the bottom with that, yes, yeah. But you can see it's quite messy. So this will all be, hand sanded. Or try to mount it. The idea is if you do a better job getting this, so when I went in with the parting tool is because I was trying to, this edge right there, I was trying to clean that up with the parting tool, and you're going off and you're hitting on, off, on, off. So I didn't do a very neat job, but if you take your time, you can get in there, and that, especially with that thin parting tool, I could have got rid of this line and really captured that, because I like this bottom. It kind of gives it something. I don't know about the shapes, but I like the bottom. And again, this is probably still close to an inch thick, but so is this. So, and again, I think this is more of a decorative bowl, not so much, definitely not a salad bowl, that's for sure. But we'll see. I have my festival this weekend at the Gatsby, and I'm gonna bring that one. We'll see what people think about it. And whether I make any more or not, I doubt it, but you gotta make one just so you can say you did it.
I am a little curious about something.
Yes.
How far are, I don't know if the right word is the two centers, but anyway, the 2 points apart from each other on that.
The ones that I did are about 3/8 of an inch separated.
Really?
You could go more, and it's gonna change how thick this is. So it wouldn't be, like, the more you go, you wouldn't have, like, this would be a little thinner and this would be not so thick. So depending, because you're moving it this way. So
Right.
the more you move it, you're gonna change this shape.
Because the thing is, yeah, I mean, that's just it. That doesn't strike me as being particularly aesthetic or attractive. But if it were a
Doesn't for
lot.
me either.
Yeah, right.
What's that got to do with the demo?
Oh, but, well, no, but the question, but my point is, if you made the thick part not nearly as thick,
Right.
maybe just a little bit thicker,
Well, you could just remove it, right?
right?
What I would do if I was you, do you get the newsletter?
Now that's two separate questions. Do I get the newsletter? Do I read the
Read the
newsletter?
newsletter and go down to the other link and watch the one in German. And
Okay.
you'll get a better,
Right.
it's a much more interesting than this.
I think the farther you move the hole off center,
Off center,
the smaller the actual bowl is gonna be.
right? So the bigger the rim, the thicker part of the rim. Right.
Right.
So, but this is only, like I said, maybe I moved over probably that much, so 3/8 maybe? Yeah, I didn't move a lot.
Good Lord. And if you'd move less, the thick rim would be thinner.
Well, if you moved any less, I think I would have split. the
Yeah,
wood.
so there's only so thin you can get the thick.
Right, you gotta have, if you're using a worm screw, now if you're using a chuck, that would be different, right? But you could do this, like, I think, did you say that in the beginning, or somebody did?
Yeah, you could,
Make this a tenon instead of a mortise, and then make this a tenon as well.
yeah, it was kind of
Right.
both.
Right, you can do both, and you wouldn't need the worm screw.
Right.
But if you had an exterior tenon though, now taking that off, so this is not coming off.
Right,
This is staying on. If you had just turned 2 tenons, like you would normally do,
right.
you now have to get those off. And to do that, you would definitely need to put them in cold jaws or make a jam chuck and get it just right to get those off. But I kind of like the design, so I kept that. The video I watched, this is the way they did it. And I can hand sand that. I'm not worried about cleaning that up enough that it's presentable. So.
I think it's one of the neatest things I've seen in a while, to be honest with you, a fresh approach to what a bowl is.
Yeah.
Both sides, and I think that's great, and that's the direction people should be thinking, you know?
Right.
But a little more detail, and I did demos too, just like you.
Yeah.
And you rush through them, you try to do the best you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
other than a rolling demo that's nearly perfect all the time, and I'll say that to his face. I think that's a great idea, I really like that, and I think if you had to take the time to do the detail, and I'd like to see it when it's done.
Yeah.
When you finish it, I'd like to see that. That's
Yeah.
a neat little idea that's, I've never seen before.
Yeah, this is easy to do, clean this all up, you know, in the shape. And there's always gonna be that person who comes in and goes, wow.
Yeah.
That pole's not in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, or it's, you know, it's.
One of the things, because I have a whole slew of YouTube videos of this.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to do it, I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah.
And one of them, they put it back in the cold jar.
Yeah.
So they cleaned off the bottom, so when people turn it upside down, it's like, it doesn't give away how you did it.
Gotcha. Okay, you know what,
So then it makes people think, going, okay.
yeah, so,
how did they do that?
I left this is a good inch thick. So now that you said it that way,
You're gonna do it.
yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll take this home, I'll put it on the cold jar, because I can hollow this out half an inch or more.
Sure.
And actually make a bowl, I could actually make a bowl on the bottom. That'll really screw them up.
Yeah.
Got all sorts of bowls going on.
First time I did
Try
a,
that.
first time I did a square bowl and people saw it, I think I made 6 or 7 and I sold every one of them.
Yeah.
How do you make a bowl out of a square?
Right.
You know, and when you see it done, you're like, oh, that's not that hard.
Yeah.
And I think the first look, people are gonna wanna buy it. You know, but like I said, a little more detail, a little more time, it's a demo, it's
Yeah,
it's
but
tough.
so I'm used to taking my pieces and now, once this dries a little bit, because it's still a little bit green, and I'll restand this, I'll get this transition fixed. But again, if I didn't skate with the bowl gouge, I wouldn't have ripped it and I wouldn't have had this style edge. I would have had a perfect bowl edge. And I did this on one of the other ones. I skated over, but I caught myself before I was way too close to the edge when I skated. But this is very easy and people don't know if that's supposed to be there or not, in my opinion. So when I sand this out, I'll put it back on and really sand this with the power sander, get it nice and cleaned up. But I am gonna do that, I'm gonna put it in the cold jars and somewhat hollow this out. And,
You know, if you've only got one at the show, if somebody buys it right away, I'd ask them, can you pick it up on your way out? So you have it on your table
Well,
longer to see if
I
other
have-
people are interested.
Well, I have this one too, that I could do the same thing. This one has no finish on it, and this was my second attempt. And it still was a little rocky there, but I haven't finished sanding this up yet either. And you can see on this one, I left myself, I didn't skate off the edge. Do have a little tool mark that I just saw right there. But, yeah, I mean, this was, you do these kooky ideas, you try them, and, you know, turning off center, there are a lot of other things besides bowls that you turn off center. So it was a good practice run. And again, I saw it on YouTube about a year ago, and I said, that'll make a good demo if I ever get in a mood. And then we didn't have a demo, I said, all right, here we go. Let's turn one. So, yeah, this is my third attempt, 1, 2, 3. So today was my third try at it. And practice, practice, practice. That's why we come to the meetings.
Once you tinker with it, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, once you do a couple of them, and you figure out, you know, I knew enough to pay attention to the edge, and then I didn't do it anyway. So as soon as they skated off the edge, I was like, oh, that went right over. I know it did, because I was already on that line.
If you're not doing it every day, somebody, again, to mention Roland.
But in the video, what they did, if you wanted to, you would put a pencil mark there.
Yeah.
So that you'd have a reference point to stop.
Right.
I was doing it by eye and holding the lathe down and, but yeah, all those little tricks, marking it, taking your time. I'm terrible at those things. I always have this, if I can't get it done in 18 minutes, then we ain't doing it.
Plus, you gotta do it every day. Bob and I both remember Rick Souza. And Rick worked in a wood shop, turned in a wood shop, then went home and turned again.
Right.
So he spent 8 hours at a lathe. Sometimes he got paid for it, and sometimes he had it for fun. And practicing Roland's another good example of working all the time on his craft. And the more you practice, the better you get.
Yeah.
You know, so, but once you finish tinkering with that, I'd like to see it done before you sell it. And, you know, put some pictures on the newsletter or something.
Yeah, put them in the newsletter when I get this. It won't be this week because I'm ready for get ready for the gallery, so.
That's
Good
this
job.
weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like Sunday's gonna be a complete washout.
Yeah.
But so Sunday and Saturday and Monday, so. 2 good sale days, that should pay for itself.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments, even different demos that you'd like to see? I mean, Roland knows how to turn just about everything. And again, you can see that you don't have to be the best wood turner in a group to do these demos. So if you have an idea that you'd like to share with people, even if it doesn't come out perfect during the demo, we'll learn the trick that you're trying to explain. That's the important part. Not so much if the piece is perfect when you get done, it's the technique that you use, how did you get to it, that type of thing. Tools that you use, how to fix mistakes that you make, that type of thing. So anybody who wants to do a demo, see James, you know. And if anybody's interested in that other lathe, before I forget, let me know. How's that? Nice early night. Get you in, get you out. Cool.
No, not yet.
Stand up.
That's actually, you have to plan and stage it.
I think it says Anthony.
Oh,
It says end right there, something. No, yeah, close that. Is there an end button, stop or end? It's on there somewhere. There it is. Ah, there it is. There we go. It was on the bottom. This is